Writing. The morning sun had barely risen when a hungry father made a choice that would change not only his own life, but the lives of people who believed money was the only measure of a person's worth. Fired without mercy, carrying nothing but a worn backpack and the weight of raising his little daughter alone, he gave away the last warm meal he could afford to an elderly stranger sitting alone on a park bench. He never imagined that the quiet woman with tired eyes was the mother of one of the richest billionaires in the country. What happened over the following days stunned an entire city and proved that true wealth begins with the heart. Before we continue this unforgettable story, if you believe kindness, compassion, and second chances can truly change lives, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Heartline Stories so you never miss another inspiring journey. Malik Carter had always believed that hard work would eventually overcome every obstacle. As a single father raising his 7-year-old daughter Nia, every day began before sunrise. He packed lunches, braided her hair as best as he could, walked her to school, and then hurried to the luxury restaurant where he worked as a chef. His meals were praised by customers, but praise did not protect him from prejudice. One busy afternoon, after a misunderstanding caused by a wealthy customer demanding special treatment, the restaurant owner blamed Malik without asking for his side of the story. Within minutes, years of loyalty disappeared with a single sentence telling him never to come back. Carrying his final paycheck, barely enough to cover rent, Malik walked through the bright afternoon streets feeling as though the world had forgotten him. Despite the crushing disappointment, Malik refused to let bitterness enter his heart. He smiled for Nia when she greeted him after school, pretending everything would be fine. The next day, while searching for another job, he bought one inexpensive meal using the last cash in his wallet. He planned to split it with his daughter later that afternoon. As he crossed a peaceful city park filled with children laughing under the warm daylight, he noticed an elderly woman sitting quietly on a bench. Her elegant clothing was wrinkled, her hands trembled slightly, and her eyes revealed a loneliness deeper than hunger itself. She looked exhausted, confused, and far too weak to stand. Without hesitation, Malik offered her the meal, choosing to go hungry himself. Watching her slowly eat with grateful tears in her eyes somehow filled him more than any meal ever could. The woman introduced herself only as Eleanor and quietly thanked him before asking about his life. Malik spoke honestly about losing his job, raising Nia alone after his wife had passed away years earlier, and trying every day to teach his daughter that kindness mattered even when life felt unfair. Eleanor listened with unusual attention, studying the tired father whose dignity remained untouched by hardship. Before leaving, she simply wished him strength and disappeared into a waiting black car that arrived moments later. Malik barely noticed the luxury vehicle because he was already thinking about finding dinner for his daughter. 2 days passed without success. Job applications went unanswered, bills continued to pile up, and hope became harder to hold on to. Then an unexpected invitation arrived asking Malik to attend a meeting at the headquarters of one of the nation's largest charitable foundations. Believing it must have been a mistake, he borrowed a clean shirt from a neighbor and entered the towering glass building with nervous steps. The receptionist welcomed him warmly and guided him into an elegant office where photographs of humanitarian projects covered the walls. Sitting beside the massive window was the same elderly woman from the park, smiling with tears in her eyes. Only then did Malik discover the truth. Eleanor was the beloved mother of billionaire entrepreneur Victor Ashcombe, a man known worldwide for building a business empire worth billions of dollars. She explained that she often spent quiet afternoons away from security and luxury because she wanted to understand how ordinary people treated strangers when they expected nothing in return. Countless people had walked past her that day. Some avoided eye contact. Others looked away completely. Malik had been the only one who stopped despite having almost nothing himself. Victor entered the room moments later, deeply moved after hearing his mother's story. He admitted that successful companies often searched endlessly for talented employees while overlooking something far more valuable: character. He had already reviewed Malik's work history, spoken to former co-workers who admired his honesty, and learned about his devotion as a father. Rather than offering charity, Victor offered opportunity. Malik was invited to lead the culinary program for the foundation's nationwide community kitchens, preparing nutritious meals for struggling families while training unemployed parents to become professional chefs. The position came with a generous salary, healthcare, educational support for Nia, and the chance to build something meaningful. News of Malik's remarkable journey spread quickly across television, newspapers, and social media. The restaurant owner who had fired him publicly attempted to apologize after facing criticism from employees and customers alike. Yet Malik carried no desire for revenge. Instead, he reminded everyone that forgiveness required action, encouraging businesses to judge workers by their integrity rather than appearance or assumptions. His calm response inspired thousands more than anger ever could. Months later, the community kitchens flourished in cities across the country. Families who once depended on food assistance now worked proudly beside Malik, learning skills that restored both income and confidence. Every meal served carried the same lesson that had transformed his own life: generosity given during hardship has a power that cannot be measured by money. Nia often visited after school, proudly wearing a tiny apron while helping prepare desserts for children. Watching his daughter laugh among people whose lives had been rebuilt reminded Malik that hope grows strongest when it is shared. As Eleanor quietly watched the project expand, she often reflected that the greatest investment her son had ever made was not in technology or business, but in believing in one compassionate father. She knew the world would remember the headlines about a billionaire helping a struggling man, yet the deeper truth was far more beautiful. Everything had begun because a hungry father refused to let another human being go hungry first. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that one small act of kindness can completely change someone's future, please like this video, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to Heartline Stories, and let others experience the same hope. Special request: comment below with the words, "Kindness always wins," if you believe one compassionate act can change the world. As the golden afternoon sunlight filled the community kitchen through wide windows, Malik watched families gather around warm tables where strangers became friends and hope replaced despair. He realized he had never truly lost everything on the day he was fired. The one thing he had refused to lose was his compassion, and in the end, that became the greatest blessing of all. Sometimes life doesn't reward the richest person in the room. Sometimes it quietly rewards the person who shares their last meal with someone who needs it even more. And that is the kind of miracle the world will never stop needing.